The enigmatic Mr. Roarke makes the secret dreams of his lucky guests come true at a luxurious but remote tropical resort. But when the fantasies turn into nightmares, the guests have to solve the island's mystery in order to escape with their lives. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Movie Files. Elliot here with a brand new movie review, and today we're talking about the new Blumhouse horror film, Fantasy Island. Very excited to be here to talk about this film, but before we dive into this spoiler-free review, for those that are new to Movie Files, definitely consider subscribing and hit that bell so you can stay up to date with my latest videos. And if you're new to the channel, we are all about reviewing new movies, talking about the new shows, reacting to the latest trailers, unboxing new releases, and also doing giveaways to show my appreciation to you all, so definitely subscribe. And if and when you've taken the chance to make your fantasies come true and seeing this film, let me know your thoughts of this movie in the comments below. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Do you want to see more 70s TV shows get kind of a revamp in a horror genre? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and what type of TV show would you like to see to get this kind of revamp into this horror genre. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So, as you all know, that's been following me for a long time, I always try to find the most positive things out of things that might not be the most well-spoken movies, movie-wise, at least TV shows as well. I always try to find the positives in things, and in life in general. That's just who I am as a person. So, Fantasy Island, man. It wasn't a great film. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to explain it in my negatives in a little bit, but just trying to find some positives. There are those type of films that they know exactly what they're doing. This film doesn't do that per se, but at times the film knows how ridiculous the script is, how ridiculous the premise is, and some plot point issues, and the film just kind of plays into that at a certain extent. So I'll give it props there. The acting was okay, right? I like Maggie Q. I like Michael Peña. Lucy Hale, Hall, or whatever her name is. I never watched Pretty Little Lies, but I know she's famous from that, and she's been in some other things, and she was in Truth or Dare, which I thought was horrendous, which happens to be directed by the same director, who I'm not the biggest fan of, and we'll talk about that later. But, I thought the acting was fine. Could have been better, for sure, but again, I like Maggie Q, where she's been at. I love Maggie Q, and I'm a big fan of Michael Peña. I think he's a fun actor. He seems like a really great guy, and I think he's, doing the best he can in this role, so that's another positive. What else is there to talk about positively about this film? Yeah, that's about it. That's all I can think of, unfortunately. I'm not going to spend 20 minutes diving into the things I didn't like. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. This is not a good film. The script is terrible. The acting was fine, but it was pretty bad at times. The logic of this film, again, you know what you're getting into when you see the trailer. You know what you're getting into when you read the premise. But at the end of the day, this film it knows it's ridiculous at times. And I mentioned that in my positive, that it leans into that. Like, hey, we're just going to have fun with this. Just enjoy the ride. But then they try to throw in these, impactful storylines and make you try to get emotional with these characters, and for me personally, it fell 100% flat. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but there's a particular character whose fantasy is to become a soldier, and he meets someone he hasn't seen in a long time, and it tries to get emotional and serious, and it just it is just horrible in my opinion. And the other stuff, the other fantasies, there's one fantasy that I thought had a little bit of heart, and that's Maggie Q's character, who wants certain things in her life and wants to kind of go back to fix some mistakes or regrets she had in her past. And that storyline was a little bit interesting. Michael Rooker, I'm a big fan of Michael Rooker. He's in it for this much, and I wish he was in it more, because he seems like he knew what movie he was in, and he was kind of leading to the ridiculousnousness, and then he's not in it as much as I wanted to. Michael Peña, as I had mentioned, I'm a big fan of his, but man, even he couldn't bring the fun and the thrills that I get in him and his roles that he's played in the past. So again, I had mentioned it, the director of this film, who's done films like Kick-Ass 2, who's done films like Truth or Dare, a couple other films in the filmography, and he's like every film I've seen of Jeff Wadlow, I believe that's his last name, I have not liked at all. They all seem to have the same type of feel and kind of just kind of emotion to it. They're all just flat. His directing sensibilities are just stale. He's very safe. He's very stick by the numbers. I think I don't know the guy obviously, but he seems like one of these directors in Hollywood where you just say the studio gives him the notes and he sticks right to the notes. He has no kind of flair. He has no personality in his movies, and all his films to me are just so lifeless, and it is just so unfortunate because I know that there's people that probably look up to the guy as a director and admire his, you know, sensibilities and admire his filmography, but I'm not one of them, unfortunately. His style doesn't work for me. I'll just leave it at that. I won't say he's a terrible director. His style just doesn't work for me at all, at any level at all. I think that the scares in this film fall flat. Is very predictable in regards to, you know, what's around the corner. The jump scares are trying to be there, but like the cue of the score, whoever did to score this film fell flat with that as far as creating a sensibility of scare and torture and all that. The film's rated PG-13. It could have been rated PG. Literally, it's no scary elements of this film, in my opinion, whatsoever. There's no blood. There's no, and I'm not saying that you need those things to make it scary, but at least lean into something to make it fun and energetic and scary, and it doesn't do any of that. Again, I try to be as positive as possible, but I want to be truthful for y'all. I did not like this film. Now, me not liking this film doesn't mean that this is the absolute worst film ever made, but for my sensibilities and what I like to see in a film and when I knew what I was getting into with this film, but at least if you're going to do what you did, lean into it all the way. Go batshit crazy, go off the wall, have fun, but this film tries to get too serious. It tries to implement these themes that just fall flat. The characters are unlikable. Like I said, I like Maggie Q, but even her, all the characters are essentially bad. You're rooting for these people that have done something bad, and you're supposed to root for them after what they've done, and you find out in the movie when you see it. I'm going to end this review here. I'm going to give this film a flat out 1.5 out of 5, in my opinion. This is the worst film I've seen thus far this year. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a couple others that I might not like, but I did not like this film whatsoever. I'm giving it a 1.5 out of 5 because, again, there's some scenes that look pretty cool as far as the island looking beautiful. I like the, Maggie Q. I like Michael Peña, and again, there's certain elements of the story that was okay and interesting and entertaining at points. But outside of that, I wouldn't recommend you all checking this out at the theater. Again, it's your money, it's your time that you want to spend in the film. Go check it out. Give it a chance if you want to, and you may love it. This is just my personal opinion. I did not like this film. I would recommend you probably check it out when it hits VOD, if that, and if you can get it for free, even better for you, but not the film for me. And that's just my thoughts again. 1.5 out of 5 for Fantasy Island. I thought this film was terrible. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you've seen this film, and if you liked it, let me know what you liked about the film. But if you're like me and you didn't like it like I did, let me know what you thought about this film in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Again, I'm recording this on Friday, so happy Valentine's Day, even though this is coming out on Saturday. And also, thank you for all that helped me get over 2,000 subscribers. I can't believe it. I really appreciate the support, and I just want to continue to let this channel grow and become what I know it can be. So thank you all again. Check out my other reviews for films that came out this weekend, like The Photograph, Sonic the Hedgehog, and also on Netflix, To All the Boys Before. P.S. I Love You. Check that out. And keep an eye out for my TV reviews coming out pretty soon as well. So sorry for those that wanted to have a great Blumhouse film with Fantasy Island. It just wasn't for me. So thank you all for sticking towards the end and watching this review. We'll see you in the next video.